I thought I'd just start out a little bit just talking about the program that we have at Haskayne. It's, as you can see, somewhat confusing when you look at this slide. But I teach the 467 students, which is our e-business course. And a couple of years ago, sort of realized that they're not there to learn the technology, they're there to learn leadership. And discussions with our faculty mentor, Ron Murch and Tanya, sort of led us to the decision that maybe we should introduce this leadership part, and peer mentoring may make that up fairly well. And that's what we did last year. We just piloted the 467 course with one section of our host course, and after sort of looking at it, talking to students, decided that it kind of worked. There were a bunch of things that we had to change, but it was working. So that brings us to this winter, and we also had a little bit of a pilot with another course in the fall. But basically what we have is we've got this course where about 70% of the content is the business stuff, and the other 30% is devoted to mentorship and leadership in our MGIS 467 course. What we wind up having is 28 students in that course who we're now referring to as service learning team mentors. And they mentor our 317 students, which there are approximately about 300 this term. They're taught over 6 sections, over 3 instructors. They have 58 project or service learning project teams in that course. And each of the mentors are mentoring on average about 1 to 3 of those teams. And those teams range from, I think, a small of 3 students to a big of 6 students, since I don't like teams of 7 students. It just gets way too complex. We also have a couple of TAs involved in that course. What also happened with the pilot project is we got a number of students in Haskayne that were interested in peer mentorship itself. And discussions with our associate dean, Tanya, and the host instructor for the peer mentoring courses in the Faculty of Arts, the General Studies 507 and 509 courses, we've sort of edged our way into having about 3 Haskayne students in those courses every year. And this year's been really successful because we've been able to fill those 3 positions very well. A couple of our students have taken the introductory course and the, I guess, the more advanced course, the 509 course. Those students in the 509 course this term, and again, we're trying to define their roles a little bit differently. One of them is acting as the Uber mentor for my 467 students. So bringing the student perspective, she has actually taken the 467, she was involved in the pilot project, and so she's bringing in that type of experience into the classroom, and it's been fantastic. In terms of my role, it's helped me out a heck of a lot. The other student that is in the advanced course there, we're not sure what to call her yet, but she is actually mentoring 460 students in our Finance 317 course, which is our introductory finance course. And this actually is being done a little bit differently than what Tanya said at the start. This is actually extracurricular mentoring, whereas the other ones involve both extracurricular and in-classroom mentoring. And we have a third one who is in the 507 course this term and is acting in 2 of the sections. Those 2 sections have sessional instructors, which are part-time instructors that come into the course. I feel need a little bit more support because basically they're thrown to the wolves to some extent. And the idea with that is she's becoming the classroom engagement mentor. So her activities are pretty well solidly in the classroom, except for a couple of activities where she's doing them outside. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of sort of the plan. And what I want to do is spend the next couple of minutes, and I'll share this with Shraz too. We both sort of have, I guess, what we've learned from this experience. And I think the biggest thing I've discovered is that it's actually working. I was really sort of scared, I guess, over the first year. and really shocked that, yeah, it actually worked extremely well. I've noticed a couple of things, and this actually, there's no really hard evidence to this, except I did check the averages out. With the first year, we actually saw better results from the students in the project teams. The reports they handed in their service, community service learning projects, where they go out and have an actual corporate client that they provide a service to. Those reports were better. When talking to some of the corporate clients that they talked to, I think there was a really solid sort of reaction in terms of some of those skills that those clients, when we've talked to them before, that these students actually had, that they were picking up from the experience that students had before. And I think the best part in terms of my life, and I think one of the biggest reasons that when I sort of sat down at the end, in April last year, and it didn't take me very long, that, yeah, I'm going to do this next winter. I think we had a meeting in April before the term was actually done with the mentorship program, and Tanya asked, are you going to do this next year? And I think the biggest thing that really came out to me was the fact that there was a lot of value that the mentors brought to the classroom. And one of those pieces was that I actually didn't have to sit down and help groups in terms of the fights that groups get into. And we had one, maybe two minor issues. Actually, it was two. They were minor issues, that's the first time in my life teaching this course that that's ever happened. So there was definite value in terms of how do we operate together as a team. So that experience of students that have gone through pretty well their whole program, where they've been working in teams, they were able to bring that experience forward to these people working in a team. And I think the other big thing is that, just in terms of my experience again, is that yes, there are a lot of challenges here, and you have to remain incredibly flexible. This term has been a nightmare at times, just sort of in terms of coordinating all of the pieces that we've got going, but the challenges have definitely been worth it. And this idea that walking in and talking to my peer mentors, that this is the plan, but this plan may be a little bit different tomorrow, or this plan may be a little bit different a couple of days from now, and sort of developing that flexibility amongst all of us. So I'm going to just turn it over to Shraz here and let him tell you about his experience.